Welcome to Ancient Wisdom. Season 3, episode 40. We got a little new aesthetic here. Hope you guys like it. A little new vibe. Oh, there it is, Pode. Show us a little bit of the freshness.
Speak of the devil.
You know, Fox Studios over here, 3.0, because we're in season 3, Ancient Wisdom. Of course, naturally, a pretty slow week, but we got to talk about the number one issue going on. Real quick, Poj, let's do a Jewish tunnel recap, shall we?
Let's do it.
So you guys might have seen this. There's Jews crawling out of tunnels in New York City.
What?
Very suspicious. It's been all over the internet. It's the only thing to happen in 2024. Nobody could really quite explain it if they want to stay uncanceled. But yeah. Anyway, and I've compiled my favorite memes from this week. We won't stick on it for too long.
He's running away real fast.
Oh yeah, dude, he smacks the camera and runs away. He's out. But let's hit these memes real quick.
Yeah,
I compiled my favorite memes throughout the week here.
Okay, here's the next one. Here I go. Oh no!
Self-explanatory. All right, let's hit the next one.
Yeah, we just jump right into that.
Mamma
one.
mia.
Oh, we got a new skin on Minecraft. It's selling like hotcakes, guys. Better get it while it's hot. Moving
Is that
on.
a golden pickaxe?
Oh, I didn't even catch that. Beautiful. Mwah. Look at that. Oh, you got Teenage Mutant Ninja Jews, of course. It's one of my childhood favorites.
This tunnel just keeps going deeper and deeper.
Don't I know it?
Oh my gosh. And
oh, what is this one here?
oh man.
It says saw
This is
his
another
shadow.
view?
Oh, so this is, you have to read the title, Poj.
Yeah, let's do it.
You could zoom in.
Saw his shadow 8 more weeks of war. Oh my
That one's pretty good. Low budget. Low budget than the last ones, but I
Yeah.
still like it. And of course, the last one, I believe, is actually a New York Post cover. Subway.
There's a subway in town.
Chabad boys spark whole E-war by digging illegal tunnel systems.
Wow, dude.
Genius.
And look, you can see a picture of the tunnel here.
Wow, dude, it's like legit, I heard.
Oh, it's kind of blurry, but
Oh, there you go.
It. What?
Like they paid contractors to do this. They secretly got rid of all the what do they call that? Just the dirt. They secretly shipped it away. So like what was that movie where they had to see Count of Monte Cristo? You had to put the dirt in with your poop so no one finds the dirt
Is that
and
what he
suspects
did?
anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
it must have been the American version. I didn't see
could
that.
be.
Dang.
Too American for you. But, you know, we just had to review the news of the week. But let's get into it. The real show starts now. I want to talk about understanding deception and signs. How do we know? How do we know when you're being lied to? Where does it come from? And you know, the real question is, how do you know when a sign is from the devil or from God?
I feel like the devil's going to give you actually a little more signage.
Oh, see, I like that.
Than God. I feel like the devil's always talking to you. Like your messages are overloaded.
Damn.
Like I have so many voicemails and texts from this guy. and God will like write you a letter once in a while.
Wow, that's deep. Like God is like talking to your parents. You know, you'll call them once a month or something like that.
Yeah.
But the devil is just that nagging friend that's always just hitting you up.
Or maybe it's just me. Maybe that's how I'm into
No, that's pretty cool.
that.
I like that a lot.
I like that. I think God's signs are more scarce when you really need them.
Yeah.
But the devil's signs are like constantly in your face. Like, all right, I don't know. I don't need any more signs. I know there's evil around.
How do we discern? How do we discern? Because it was hitting me. I says to myself, comment y'all, but this is factual. I think God is the first liar in the Bible. I think he's the first one.
That's pretty controversial, Mitch.
Is it? We'll find out in the reading of something called the Bible. Now, God told Adam and Eve, he said, you eat this fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, you will surely die. And then the serpent comes up, he says, nah. You're not going to die. Go ahead and eat it. God just doesn't want you to become a god. He's lying to you. And guess what? Satan was right. They didn't die. Of course, scholars have tossed around the idea that maybe it's a spiritual death, but that's gay. That's stupid. I don't know. I don't like that. What do you guys feel about that? I don't vibe with that at all. Oh, spiritual death because you're kicked out of the garden.
maybe we were immortal before that and didn't know what death was, but now we have the potential to die.
I like
because
that.
They were in paradise, and in paradise, I think you never would die.
So that's pretty deep, because I've been thinking recently about, like, what does this all mean? And does Satan work for God is kind of the theme, the question of this whole thought. Does Satan work for God? Are they one and the same? Do they need each other to cause perpetuation, to cause existence? Because what if the Garden of Eden, this is just a thought I had this week, is life before life? It's life in heaven before you were born, and being kicked out of the garden is to be kicked into this life. And that fruit was just a theater of free will, that God is telling you, hey, this is what life's going to be like. If God and the devil are one and the same, he's telling you what life is going to be like out there. It's all symbolic of kicking you into life.
I've also been thinking that God couldn't have cared whether or not we ate the fruit or not.
Right.
Because I think he really just would want entertainment in his life, because perfection, infinite perfection, I feel like can get boring after a while.
And that's not life. That's not what we know as life. That's not the definition of life. And I think that maybe, it just hit me this week, that maybe it's a symbolism of him telling you what life is like. God created the heavens and the earth. God created the animals for man. But what is an animal? A snake.
Right.
The serpent is the same one doing it. I think they have to work together, because like you said, we can't define it as life.
Whoa.
If it's all good all the time. Am I right?
That's deep, because I think God knew that we needed an adversary.
Oh, there it is. So you saying that Satan works for God?
Whoa. I never thought of it that way.
Very interesting. This just hit
Not
me this
directly,
week. Just a
maybe.
deep thought I had. You guys could comment. I want to know what you think. Of course, it's a very complex issue, and people probably know a lot more than me, but this is just how I start to understand things. We got to think about these things, and the ancient wisdom has our roots. Has the roots of thought. Oh, Post! Is that you? Is that God?
Ancient servitude.
God. Oh, what do you mean by that, God?
That's what happened to Satan. He's an indentured servitude.
Yeah, see,
That's
they
what
say
I was
he's the
trying to say.
okay. I'm like, what the fuck?
But yeah, sure. Ancient.
You know, they say he's the fallen angel, but what if he's just what if he's like God's double agent? He's actually working for him, but like he doesn't want anyone to know.
Dude, that's deep, because we would have created Satan in our minds anyways if everything was so lovey-dovey all the time with God forever.
Oh, see, that's a part of it.
He's unknowingly working for God in a way, because it's like the old...
Oh man, maybe Satan doesn't even know he's working for God. Oh, it's a triple agent.
He thinks he's trying to do evil, but he's actually just like
and God's like, yes, the whole time.
He's a mobster.
God's actually a mobster. Because who would create life, dude? I don't know. You got to think really four-dimensionally for this, but who's just like, I'm going to create a world and life? You know, like, who says that? God, apparently.
And an infinite
potentially
adversary.
Right.
For
potentially for just entertainment, like you said, because you need the adversary. You need the hero's journey. Otherwise, it's not life. You can't call it the same thing. So if God did create the heavens and the earth and he created everything, he must create evil. Some people say, the biblical scholars say, they say, Jerry! They say, but that God didn't create evil. But hey, who's to say, man? Who's to say that we're not fulfilling this thing? And what if the Garden of Eden was just preparing us for Earth? He like gave Satan a fire. Dude, this was always my this is like a fun book I was thinking about, or like an anime, that Satan was working for God the whole time. God slipped him a $5 bill or something like, hey, go give that apple, the apple that I said not to eat, go give it to the humans. And this is all happening behind the scenes. I write the alternative history in the Bible.
Or what if Satan was just like sitting around heaven too much, and God's just like, this guy needs something to do. I'm going to give him I'm going to make humans better than him and trick him into thinking that he has to battle with them forever.
That's funny too, right? That's kind of what happened in Job, where they like made a deal too. They were like shaking hands and whatnot.
But also,
trying to tell us something.
There would be no glorious underdog story for God to witness of humans overcoming,
or God to get the thanks for. Yeah, that's right, God. I see through your charade. Hey, there he is.
Don't confuse me with the one and only.
Wait, that's not you, guys.
I'm a mere head.
But
oh my good.
But when you asked about balance, Mitch, you said is does God need Satan or does Satan need God?
Yeah.
I think it's a one-way road. I don't think Satan can exist without God.
You can't define it any other way.
You said it's one way. You said we need Satan to exist so that we have a challenge. I think you guys were saying.
Right.
You know what? I don't know. I think it's Satan dependent on the Lord. You know, like if it wasn't for that, nothing's gonna come.
So Satan doesn't even have purpose.
He can't exist by himself.
In that sense, you could define us as Satan in a weird way, right? We also need that mutual definition. And I think, tell me what you guys think about this, that when kicking us out of the Garden of Eden, he's kicking us into life. Therefore, he's preparing us for what to expect in said life, which is temptation, consequences, and the fact that two wrongs don't make a right. The fact that, hey, I gave you this fruit, I says don't eat it, you eat it anyway, and I kick you out. And the only thing God is kind of there for is to be there for you to return to, hence creating the drama, if you will.
And almost as if he knew the entire time that we're always going to fall to temptation.
Right.
Because his perfect creation did in the Garden of Eden, in paradise.
Heck yeah. And it makes me think about balance. Moving on to our next link.
Oh, that's good.
I created this thing. This is from the official Ancient Wisdom Twitter account, but I created this politics clock. It's another thing I was thinking about this week. It's about the balance of everything. You could bring it up if you want. What do you guys think about this? You could zoom in. We got the left, we got the right. It's a clock. Think of it as a clock, right? And, the centrists are kind of at 6 o'clock at the bottom. And those guys are the biggest of all. That is what I'm postulating in this one. And then you have the far right, the extreme left, and the extreme right up to 11 o'clock and up to 1 o'clock. But then the normal people at 12. Now, think about this. The two extremes, they finally meet when they realize that politics don't even exist.
Whoa.
Damn! It's the acceptance of facts, it's the uniparty system, the awareness of the uniparty system, and the fact that they're just pinning us against each other. Normal people are maybe 5% up top who are more extreme than the most extreme political parties because they've excused themselves from it completely. Much like the centrist claim, but I think they're the biggest piece of shits of all because they're the exact opposite of that. No, claiming they're all good. I think both sides are right. Just higher than, what do they call that? Higher than thou.
Yep. So you're saying like centrists are or are not those people?
Centrists. The people who define themselves as centrists. Yeah. And of course, I got to quote my boy Jesus in Revelation. Lukewarm and I spit you out.
That's true.
That's what it is.
I was going to say that the centrists, they don't really have the centrist opinion, like you just said earlier. They don't have the opinion of none of this really matters.
Right.
Politics, but they should if they're in the center, meaning they disregard both sides.
Which is why down is up, right? And Satan was brought to the world to make down up. And that's what this world is. That's a big theme on our show right now. But if the centrists can say that they're the ones at the center, it's just a show when really they're still the deepest in the game of all these people.
They're their own unique shitty category.
You got it, pal.
It's not even one of the. It's better to be one of the extremes.
Yes,
because at least you know who your enemy is.
And Jesus said it: "Be hot or be cold. But if you're lukewarm, I will spit you out." Centrists are the worst. They're holier than thou.
That's right.
They're the people that are trying to say stuff. Yeah, I think both sides have like some merit to it. Now you're an elephant sitting on a fence. You're gay. You're lame. You have no thought of yourself, and you're trying to be so deep, but there's no substance to you, like these writers who don't even know what to think because they've never experienced life.
Personality. No personality.
Any thoughts about that?
Can you be like a centrist in our government, or do you have to be like are there independent? Are they? It's not even independent.
That's a good question.
Centrist is not independent, right? Independent is just like I don't like anything.
I define it as everyone in the centrist category be in the high and mighty when really, since down is up, that's the uniparty. The centrists are the uniparty. Think about it. Conservative values say like what the Bible says, let's just say I don't like the gays, for example, then why is there transgenders on Fox News? Answer me that.
Yeah, that's true.
Why is there because it's a uniparty. There's no politics now. So think about this, right? I was talking to my grandpa and he said his dad, he's like, I always struggle with my dad because he was a Democrat. And I thought about that for a minute. I'm like, okay, you know, I could see where you come from. But then it hit me that in the 1960s, that's when politics actually existed.
Right.
That's when you needed to pick a side because it actually meant something. Oh, maybe I want more social services. Maybe I want to help out the poor. Maybe I want this and that, women's lib. Politics doesn't exist anymore. That's my big point. You guys have any thoughts about that? It doesn't really exist because if you're the far right, maybe you're like, I'm against communism. But in 2024, communism is happening. In the next years, it is happening because jobs are being taken by robots. So something appropriating communism is going to happen. We need to be given money unless a whole new sector is happening. The extremist part of these groups, much like the leftists, the extreme leftists hate capitalism, and yet their whole system is based on it. Very interesting.
I've had a theory about this for a while where the government just falls apart because of too much technology.
Yeah.
Like everybody's just like following their own influencer. Like, oh no,
it can't last.
I'm a Taylor Swiftist, I don't believe in democracy, Like, what happens? What happens then when you just everybody believes in their own little thing? Is what I'm getting at. I agree with you. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that feels so real, dude. I swear to God, like I heard this thought the other day that mainstream media is not going to cover the 2028 election. Bro, that's in the far future. That's like going to be flying cars and shit in my mind as far as I'm concerned. But you know what I mean? It's all influencers who are going to talk about this stuff. Fox News is already dead. Imagine in 4 years, it's dead. It's buried. Nobody's watching that shit.
The ratings really should decide who the leader is.
Yeah.
But, when technology's involved with elections, there's going to be funny business.
We are not ready for the paradigm shift that is occurring. And I think that's my thesis statement. And I think we're going to move on to link 3 here to really hit the nail in the coffin.
Heck yeah.
Play this video. We got to see it all the way through. And let me know what you think about this man's actions.
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
That's Buzz Aldrin. And he won't swear that he went to the moon.
I'm not trying to get You're the one who said you walked on the moon when you didn't.
Here it is.
Calling the kettle black, if I ever thought of it. Saying I misrepresented myself.
Away from me.
You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Oh, shit! And there it is. Have you guys seen this one?
I saw the clock, like a TikTok, a quick one.
Oh, the quick one.
I never saw the full one.
Buzz Aldrin knocked a dude out because he said he didn't go to the moon.
I bet you he didn't get arrested or like...
Probably not. I'm a hero. Yeah. Any first impressions off this?
Use your words.
I don't know.
I got to be liberal on that one.
He's... I don't think he has to entertain the guy to like...
Okay.
I don't think he's got to do anything he says.
I don't got to prove myself to you type situation.
That's what he's thinking. Yeah, that's what he's thinking. He's like, I don't got to prove myself to you. I think he's thinking if he swears on the Bible, he's got like... He's going to start a controversy.
For religious people and stuff?
I don't know. Not that. Like, did he really do it? Like, he's got to swear on the Bible
right now, did he really do it? Yeah. He didn't swear on the Bible. I think that's more in the other direction.
You think it's on the other direction?
Right. Yeah. That's like, you won't swear on the Bible?
Maybe he does.
You won't just be like, I did it.
Yeah. He does have something to prove because he punched the guy out for his reputation.
I want to just briefly dive into the nature of deception. Why overreact? Why a national hero, one of the most beloved American icons of all time, supposedly did this amazing, heroic thing, and you knock a dude out because he said you didn't do it? So let me ask you, Poj, what's some great thing you did in your life that you're pretty proud of?
I taught a lot of little kids how to play guitar.
No, you didn't.
What do you mean I didn't?
You didn't.
But I still do it now.
No, you never taught kids how to play guitar.
Yeah, man.
Are you willing to swear on this Bible that you taught kids how to play guitar? Interesting. You have no problem swearing on this Bible that you
I see where you're coming
kids
from.
Get,
I see where you're coming from.
Like a second, hell yeah. You know what I mean, dog?
Yeah.
I went to Japan with Podes early last year.
No, you didn't.
But I did.
You did not.
Are you
I
sure?
was there. You weren't there.
But guys, I don't care what you say because I know in my heart that I went to Japan. Boom, end of discussion.
Those are AI photos.
He's telling the truth.
Am I right though? Why overreact? If you knew you did something, but here's another thing. Oh, if I said I went to Brazil, I know I'm lying. Hey, shut up. I went to Brazil. What? You calling me a liar?
Okay, I believe you.
I believe you are. Yeah, you better before Betsy has something to say about it. Like, why overreact? Sure, I don't know the whole situation. Like, he could have gone inside and walked away. But instead, he overreacted. Isn't that interesting? When do we overreact? Think about this, guy. Why do people have the reactions they do?
As Walt Whitman once said, if you always tell the truth, you never have to remember the lies you've told.
And let's leave it at that. I hope you guys learned a thing about deception. Comment. I want to know more. Give me some signs, y'all. We're moving on to Evan's section here. We're going to talk about, is medicine killing us?
I represent science. That's dangerous. You're attacking science, Dr. Anthony Fauci. You are doing something detrimental to society. You're attacking science. I represent science. You do not know what you are talking about.
The theme is pretty simple. If you would like to click that first link, Poj. Is medicine killing us? Well, apparently, about the third leading cause of death in the West is due to medical malpractice or medicine. And if you can also click that first drop-down arrow under the People Also Ask section.
Oh, yeah.
It says, are drugs the third leading cause of death? People are also asking this question. Then you find out that the number 2 and 1 causes of death are heart disease and cancer in the United States and Europe.
Wow.
So my question is, can you condense the first, second, and third leading cause of death?
I don't see why not.
All together, since heart disease is pretty complex and no one knows how to solve it, so it's probably failing people because of the medicine.
Yeah, and that all feels so modern too, right? Talking about jabs, talking about American diets, the plastics in our water, runoff from all the women's birth control and antidepressants. Yeah.
Atrazine turning the amphibians homosexual.
Oh, of course, dude. And like all this has been happening for a while, especially the cancers. Of course, there's ancient recollection, but the numbers are skyrocketing. Now it's numbers 1, 2, and 3, like all these things.
That's how you could interpret it. And on that page that you were just at, my bad, dropped my pen. On that webpage, if you could go back really quick, Poj. Yeah. So it says, there's a number there somewhere at the top if you scroll up. It says 251,000 deaths annually from the third leading cause of death, medicine.
Wow.
Air. But then, in recent news, it's come out that conservatively 17 million people died from the pokey.
Oh, yes.
The pokey poke.
Pokey poke.
So that's like 10,000% higher than that number.
Wow.
And that's the third leading cause. So you could argue maybe in the last couple of years, the number 1 cause of death has been that thing.
I'm glad you brought up this subject, Evan, because it's always seemed very obvious to me. I might be ahead of the curve on this one. Dude, they were giving you snake oils 2,000 years ago, maybe even more. Not much has changed. Antibiotics has been proven to work, but even that kills like a lot of big things in your body.
Dude.
Everything else is killing you. It's experimental drugs that someone's making money off of.
Thank you for bringing up the antibiotic thing, because another thing I just read the other day was that the antibiotic distribution of doctors in the past few years decreased by 50%.
Oh, my
50
spirits.
by half. And antibiotics are like pinnacle of modern medicine.
The only thing that we know works.
So it went down 50%. The doctors just did not give it out the past few years.
Yep. So ask questions, guys. Be suspicious. Like, it seems so obvious to me. I won't harp on it for too long, Poj, if you have any takes, but it's just like, dog, it's just a bunch of chemical compounds that they throw together and they skew the numbers in the labs to make it seem like it helps certain people in certain cases. But you should know this by now. Anyway, moving on.
The second link I have for you is titled Genius Hospitalized in the nut house, basically. Indefinitely so. This ties into the theme of medicine killing us.
Yep.
Because this is the kid who released the early GTA 6 footage.
Oh, don't say.
He was deemed by the UK government or police or whatever, which is the government, that he was too dangerous of a threat to society, so he has been institutionalized.
Hacked a video game?
Because he hacked a video game?
To a hospital. This is 18-year-old kid.
Oh, indefinitely. Wow.
Yeah. Yep, there's like, until doctors say he's ready to reintegrate into society.
One more reason to not buy GTA 6, y'all.
Yep.
They probably had something to do with this.
It's sad.
It's like deeper than strange. It's suspicious.
Like, why would you do that? It's the worst explanation to cover something up, too.
Did he release the game? He released footage.
I think it was just footage, if I recall. But I don't know what fish has to do with it there.
Well, he's proud of that fish.
But I guess, and I don't know why he has to be blurred either, because 18 is an adult.
Oh, yeah,
so
true.
That's strange.
Someone was trying to be respectful, I guess.
But that's just incredibly sad because he thought it'd be like, yeah, this would be cool if I showed people early, and then they're just like, get effed.
All right, quick theories. I think they really hire him as an indentured servitude to work as a hacker for the government and say that it's a mental hospital.
Mitch, I'm with you.
All right, we got to check. We got to.
I vote that.
It's not out of the realm of possibilities.
Right.
Maybe there was more that he got that he did not show. Maybe he found something
that they don't want you to know. Epstein file list.
Well, that's
Prince Andrew.
Well, that's the thing. It's not really about GTA 6 itself. It's the fact that he has such talent. If you go on to
read, that's what I'm taking from this.
He's
anyway,
a menace to society.
Yeah. So it's just like, oh, he's an indefinitely locked up, but really, they're just enslaving this guy.
And they could lock him up if he refuses.
Yep.
Could have gone off to credit card scams, but he had to reveal his identity with this.
Yeah, what a waste of a. But anyways, that's
it just goes to show you, don't be a Jesus out here, or you're gonna get caught. Don't be great. If you're great or extremely special, you better keep that to yourself, man. I don't know. Is that the lesson? Comment.
Like the guy who invented the hydro engine.
Yeah, He's careful.
Like, everyone's gonna love this. It's gonna be so philanthropist.
You know what? Maybe that's the lesson. Don't trust in the goodness of man.
Yep.
Boom, there it is. I'm gonna stick with that one. Don't trust in the goodness do everything you can to not trust them.
Don't be naive.
Don't be naive. Write it down, get it patented, put it in, bury it 100 places underground. Anyway, moving on.
He didn't understand the devil signs.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, so I'll preface this one by posing a question.
Okay.
From what we've learned about modern medicine, some people have the argument of ancient traditional medicine being superior. And I'd like to see if you guys agree after this video of a Peruvian witch trying to stop a landslide.
Okay.
Turn up the volume if you can, too.
Nice intro.
Hey, get back here! What is she? She's a witch? What do you mean she's a witch? She's not a witch! Get over here! Magic is not gonna. It's a landslide, you dumb bitch! Get over here! No, get out of the fucking way! Get out! Move! Move, you dumb bitch! Run! Wow, fuck! Oh, fucking shit!
I have half a mind to believe that like he added that audio later.
Yeah,
but it fit really well. If that is fake, it's good. So that's amazing.
So I think it was so perfect what you said about balance earlier, because I'm like, that's my theme. Is it all just, should we find a perfect balance between modern medicine and traditional medicine?
I would have to agree with that. You know, one might make the argument that a witch is just a psychopath who has nothing to do with any of this, but, you know,
that's my gay platitude of the day. Have balance in everything.
Have balance. They gave you herbs a while ago, and I would certainly prefer that over all the pharmaceuticals now, but they both seem to not work.
Can we draw the line at antibiotics?
Yeah, antibiotics.
Right.
But you know what? I'm also sick. I got to make this point real quick too, but I'm also sick of everybody. Oh, Lord. Everybody needs a Band-Aid for everything. Everybody needs to go see the doctor for everything. Maybe I grew up a little more rugged than most, but I had a lot of friends like whose mom would freak out or something if they got a little cut. I never used no Neosporin. Barely had Band-Aids. You just suck it up and you live, because that's what humans do. We survive. We're strong.
It scabs over pretty quick if you don't put on.
And if you're gonna die, if you got appendicitis, go see the doctor. If you need antibiotics, go get them. Thank God. But yeah, enough of this other stuff. It's just fear otherwise.
Yep.
Hot take of the day. Moving on to Poge's segment of the show. I think it's going to be a hot one. What do we got, Poge?
Now, Mitch.
Whoa.
Didn't your grandfather's house cost $25,000 way back when?
Yeah, bro. In the 60s, he spent $25,000 to get like a 2-family house. Something crazy.
Mitch, what would you do if I told you that to live a full life now, you would need $2.5 million from zero to the grave? That's how much money will pass through your fingers.
Who's doing that?
That's how much money.
Because right now a house will be $1 million.
So that's with the house and then all your food and everything else and everything you'll ever do kind of estimated.
God forbid you want to go to college. God forbid you want a trip. I wonder if this is factoring in trips. Is this like a rich white girl living a life?
I'm glad you said that because, well, first of all, I'm seeing it's on LinkedIn.
Oh, there we go.
And
so
I was
yes,
just like, well, Larry Fink, the CEO
Classic.
of LinkedIn, his antics. But anyways. You said the rich white woman. The other week, there's all these compilations of people how they can't make it living paycheck to paycheck. It's like, oh, we're dinks, which means we're dual income, no kids.
Oh god!
And we both have
fucking embarrassing.
I know. We both have good jobs. I'm a registered nurse. Blah blah blah. And she's complaining about her and her husband can't make ends meet and how much groceries are. But she's got an Apple Watch on.
Oh yeah.
She's filming it on a smartphone. She's got a very nice dining room that she's sitting in her nice house.
Well, that's the point, right? I'm spending this money so I don't have to spend it on kids.
True.
That's what they're trying. That's what they're risen at you, to use the youth term. I don't know what that means.
They're exaggerating the average amount of money that the average person needs, which is probably her. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, because I've heard all these takes like to have kids isn't really that expensive, but you just gotta live inexpensive. And as Poge was saying before, like I take this to heart because I couldn't, if I wanted to, just go on some land like the Native Americans and just build a shack and say, this is my home. It's a sin against God that I can't even just live. I can't just grow a fruit tree on my land. But now it costs $2.5 million to buy in a system that I never bought in the first place. I never wanted to live in.
Maybe balance really is a big theme because the whole property thing, when the colonials just moved west in the United States, the natives didn't even really understand the concepts of property. They thought that was a very strange thing. I mean, there's something to that. It doesn't really make sense that you own it. It's just use.
Yeah, it's cool until we run out, which brings up my point of earlier where there's a huge paradigm shift that needs to happen. Like, we're in a huge bubble. You guys heard of the housing bubble? We're in a life bubble, and it's going to burst. Our new habits cannot be sustained by this way of life. Things are changing so fast and our systems in place have not caught up with it.
Stop right there.
People are gonna die for $2.5 million. You can't do it.
This brings me to my next point.
Oh, hell yeah.
With the systems not being there, man.
Oh, sick.
Oh man, this one's gonna hurt everybody that sees this one.
Oh man, it's getting worse, you're telling me? Oh god, $2.5 million is already scary.
In Maine is going to pay for housing for migrants for up to 2 years.
Oh man,
she Republican governor too.
I knew that would hurt.
And we got like
Republicans fake.
We have no housing for us, for anyone.
God, Maine too. That's like one of the last bastions, but that's why they want it. Oh yeah, that's why they want it. They want the votes.
It's,
I saw new for a second there. I thought it said New York, but yeah, people the millions are leaving New York right now, and the mayor's freaking out. It's like, who's gonna pay for all this?
God, they're taking over schools now. That's the new news.
Right,
they're taking over schools. They're sending kids back to COVID and giving migrants the school to live in. What is going on, Poach? And yes, it is not sustainable. I don't understand
have houses
this.
For us.
We don't have houses for us.
But we're giving them
well put
people that don't live in this country.
Yeah. God. And they got a sweet slice of land, dude.
In Maine? I've never been to Maine.
That's the good
I've always wanted to
stuff.
visit Maine.
Oh, the air is so fresh.
I can't stay in that.
You know what I'm hoping? That the cold winters of New England are just too much.
Yeah, but that's asking a lot. I hope it's, what do they call that? Wishful thinking? We'll see. We'll see.
Well, that's what some of them said in Chicago. They're like, there's nothing here for us. We go back.
Yeah, but it's not stopping 10 million others taking their place, unfortunately. So, well, thanks for depressing me, Poach.
Well, no problem. But the fallacy of the modern economy. You know, who is it for? Like I said, is society for the economy, or is the economy for society? Yeah, that's my whole point here.
I kind of rephrase that as the government too, right? You can be all encompassing, right? Like it started as for the people, but now it's the people for the government. We need a vastly different way of life. And the closest thing I thought, the most radical idea that I heard that could actually work, is President Trump talking about building new cities if he's elected again.
Right. Yep.
Never thought about that. So out of left field. But I said, God damn it, it's just crazy enough to work.
But you know what? We have to buy U.S. steel from Japan.
Yeah, we got to buy it back. So I think what this really means is we're just selling off America and we're all doomed. So start learning a foreign language because they're not learning your language. And I don't know, Bitcoin? I'm not a financial analyst.
Yeah, no, not Bitcoin. Not Bitcoin.
Let's ask somebody who might know from about 2,500 years ago, my old friend Lao Tzu, as we translate the Tao. We got high quality graphics here on Ancient Wisdom, y'all. So allow me to read the Tao, chapter 22. We're getting deep, guys. Bend, and you will be whole. Twist, and you will be straight. Be deep, and you will be filled. Grow old, and you will be renewed. Have little, and you will have much. Have much, and you will be confused. Therefore, the holy man embraces unity even below heaven. To be without self, he shines. To be without self, he is prominent. To campaign against self is to live virtuously. To not know self is to live forever. He does not quarrel. Therefore, no one below heaven can quarrel with him. The ancients said, "Bend, and you will be whole." Are they empty words? Be truly whole and return. First impressions?
That was a complicated Tao for me.
Oh, okay.
Tell me about it.
Tell me about it.
I mean, it kind of was confusing right off at the start. Bend and you will be whole. Twist and you will be straight. Oh, wait, I guess. Oh, those aren't really inverses. I guess whole and straight are both good attributes.
And also keeping an open mind to the ancient Chinese that they sort of mean concepts that could be translated thusly. Right. This is just, of course, Mitch's translation. And just so we know as well, I have a note here that below heaven obviously means earth, that which is not heaven.
Man, I think it's all trying to say the same thing almost every chapter. The bending and the twisting, it's just seems to be another way to say adapt and go with the flow of things.
Right.
Adapt to the thing that is bending you and is twisting you.
Because you will be bent, you will be twisted. Yeah.
Right. If you try to resist it, it'll just be worse.
I like that a lot. And also bend could be also translated, I think, as bow. Like bow, respect, and you will be whole. You
bend.
Literally bend your body. So I sort of saw it as a bow too, like the essence of respect, to know that you are one with, if not sort of subservient to the great Tao.
What about grow old and you will be renewed?
That's a deep one. That's a very interesting one.
Maybe all of this is really just saying don't resist any of these things. So people who try to resist growing old, it can't be done anyways.
Right.
So if you say, all right, I'm growing old, then you will be renewed because there's always something new in the progression of life. When you're trying to resist that, you're holding on to a moment in time that doesn't really exist anymore.
And not only that, I think when you're young is synonymous with foolishness. And to be renewed is truly renewed of spirit. The very young are rich in spirit, but as they learn to be part of the world, they are victim to temptation. They were kicked into the world, as we said, perhaps by the Garden of Eden, by Satan. And you must relearn the spirit again. Therefore, you will be renewed to your old self, the true self. Because have little and you will have much. Have much and you'll be confused. I think that have much and you'll be confused is very tightly tied to bend and you will be whole. You must give penance to that which is. Because if you have much, you will be confused. You will know that you don't deserve much. You will. I think somewhere in our hearts, all these rich people committing suicide or hating themselves or not having enough, I think they know they don't deserve it. They haven't done what it takes. They know they're not God. So instead, if you just have little, you will have much, the real much, the same as the renewed when you grow old, the true spirit, not what the world tells you need.
That's true, and I won't be political, but I could see the other side with Hunter Biden. I could see the dark part of his life where he doesn't want to be in the situation that he's in.
For sure.
Because his money came from nothing that he did himself.
Deep.
And he just uses it to medicate and destroy himself.
It's so true. It's harder to be somebody from that family and come out decent. That's a good way to put it. Like I heard this thought the other day too, that someone was talking about they feel sorry for people who are pretty in high school, like girls or the pretty boy, something like that, because they never even had the opportunity to grow.
Right.
Much
That's
like
true.
the Hunter Biden. You never needed to change for anybody because you were always fine as you were. Yeah. Everybody accepted you. It was for the wrong reasons, for your money, for your looks, for your connections. So why would I why would I grow?
That's really deep because it's always the bullied, well, not always, but it's always the bullied kids that actually end up doing very well because they developed a thick skin early.
Right.
And much like the analogy earlier with God needing to introduce the devil to humans to have
we need a bully.
Yeah, to have an adversary to give you distinction between the adversary and
yes,
and God,
and have the ability to come around. And I like the word adversary too, because it doesn't seem as evil, adversary, but it is a challenge to overcome. And
that's actually what the Hebrew use for Satan. They use the word adversary.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That is true. That's deep. I like that a lot. You ever heard that one, Poach?
So no, but what I
did someone say God?
No, not so much as adversary. Like I hear what you guys are saying, but I hear this doubt talking more about just self-improvement.
Okay.
Like every time I hear this, it's kind of like I'm hearing, put stress on yourself in some way and you will get something in return. Endure something and something good will happen to you. Cool. I'm healing. It's like I'm hearing it's a self-improvement kind of message of everything you need to do to reap the benefits in the future.
Interesting. Where do you hear that most strongly, you think?
All the lines. Bend and you will be whole. Twist and you will be straight. Like,
oh, it's a checklist. You do this and you do this.
Right. Like, go deep and you will be filled. Nice. You'll never be filled if you're not deep. Like, you gotta be ready to accept.
Wow. Now, isn't that interesting? Because it's almost, dare I say, a cyclical meaning. Like the two perspectives that we've just shared could almost mean the same thing. Yes, it has to be a checklist. First you do this and then you do this, but also it's also definitional too. Oh God, this guy's so deep because he's not saying anything, because it is definitional. Right. You could see it as a checklist, as one to the next, or just like how it's defined literally.
My favorite line just became, therefore the holy man embraces unity even below heaven. So embrace is a key word right there. It's just letting go and going along with because it's saying everything below heaven is not in unity, but if you try to make it that it is unity, then you'll be a holy man.
Heck yeah,
because you're in the mess, you're in the thick of it with everybody else.
Right.
You're not above them, so you might as well just try to be unified underneath heaven.
Even underneath heaven, exactly. Right. I like that a lot because I as I always say, I like to see it as living on two planes at once. Don't ditch your heavenly side, and you can't also ditch your earthly side because you're here, you exist. So, and then of course the final line: he does not quarrel, therefore no one below heaven can quarrel with him. So my final statement on this, let me know what you guys think as a final thought. But this just screams no self to me. There's no self to quarrel.
How can you quarrel with someone who isn't a thing?
Boom. Person? Am I right? Does that resonate with you, Poach?
Once your self is gone, I don't even know how you could do any of this stuff, really, because like,
damn,
like he goes into this.
I like Poach's contrarian takes.
He goes into this self stuff.
Yeah,
but I can't shake the fact that this is about helping the self. So I'm conflicted on these. Like, what does the self stuff even have to say here?
That's pretty cool.
It seems like there's two selves.
Yes, living on two planes at once. Yeah. I'm telling you, this is what I get from it. You can't ditch the heaven and you can't ditch the self. You have to be with God, but it's also saying even below heaven, you must embrace unity. You must be two places at once, but also the fact that none of them exist when you do that. It's so flow that you can't forget it. I think we sin when we think we're just a human, and I think we fall and God smites us when we think we're too holy and we mess up. If you do one or the other, you ever notice in your own lives that's when the mistakes start coming in? When you're too holy, I could never be holy, so I'll just sin anyway. Or if you're all high and mighty and you think you're God, God slaps you down, Tower of Babel. You can't do that shit. You ain't allowed up in here.
Yeah, you got to be unified with the other people at your level on earth.
That's right. Even below heaven.
And to be without self, my final take, to be without self, he shines. Who's shining? If you're without self.
That's where I got lost.
So
it's a tough one.
It's almost as if.
So actually, let me define it in ancient Chinese. Right, shines can also be defined as they use the same word for a sunny day as they do for a clear day. So this word could also mean clear. You are clear. Akarui in Japanese. Like brightness, but also clear.
To be without self, you're clear.
That's true. You're just going to see right through him.
Transparent. See right through him.
Right.
And you forget that he's even there.
And you can't quarrel with someone who's transparent either. That's the other thing.
Yeah. So I'll finish off with this, guys. You might like this little tale. You're driving in a boat and someone crashes into your boat. You say, fuck you, dog. Quit crashing into my boat. You look over to that boat. There's no one in the boat. You're not mad anymore.
Whoa.
Because no one's driving it. There's no one to be mad at. Guys, I hope you like this episode. Episode 40, Season 3 of Ancient Wisdom. Meditate on those thoughts this week, and we'll catch you next time. Great episode, guys.